This is Compound Money Quietly, the CMQ Investing Podcast. My name is Chris Franco, and in this episode, we'll be looking at some big news regarding Netflix, and we'll use this current event to illustrate a time-tested investing concept, specifically the concept of a durable competitive advantage, or moat. We'll get to that in just a moment, but before we do, please take a few seconds and follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It's totally free, and by doing this, you're guaranteed to get all the new episodes in your feed as soon as they're released. So last week on Friday, shares of Netflix plunged. They went down more than 20%. And this came after Netflix reported fourth quarter results, and specifically some issues that they're having acquiring new customers or new subscribers. During the earnings call last week, Netflix CFO Spencer Newman said that overall the business was healthy, but Netflix didn't grow acquisition as fast as they wanted. And the reason for this is competition. Netflix co-founder and chairman Reed Hastings said, "There's more competition than there's ever been." Now, this news about Netflix shows us the importance of having a durable competitive advantage, or a moat. You know, I know Charlie Munger has said that the game of investing is about making better predictions about the future than other people. But more specifically, it's about making better predictions about the future cash flows of businesses than other people. Because that's ultimately the name of the game. Businesses and their future cash flows. Now keep that in mind as we review this quote from Warren Buffett. Buffett said that Coca-Cola is the perfect business because it has this gigantic durable competitive advantage, or moat, which gives it predictable cash flow. Buffett has also said that in business, he looks for economic castles protected by unbreachable moats. Netflix may be some sort of a economic castle, but it's not protected by an unbreachable moat. Netflix's earliest competition included Hulu and Amazon's Prime Video, but in recent years, Netflix competitors have grown to include Disney+, HBO Max, Apple TV, and Paramount+. And that's just to name a few. Anytime a business creates a profitable product or service, it's only a matter of time before competition rushes in and tries to get a piece of the pie for themselves. The presence of those competitors, or those competitive forces, they inevitably drive down economic profits. A 2017 article from Morningstar says, only companies with an economic moat are able to hold competitors at bay and generate economic profits over an extended period of time. Now it's the perfect time for a quote from none other than Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger says, frequently you look at a business having fabulous results, and the question is, how long can this continue? Well, there's only one way I know to answer that, and that's to think about why the results are occurring now, and then to figure out the forces that could cause those results to stop occurring. Now let's look at that quote in context of this news that Netflix is having a tough time acquiring as many subscribers as they plan to. Netflix has many more competitors than ever before, and it's not just the presence of these competitors are spending so aggressively on all things related to customer acquisition, that is, to acquire new subscribers. A Financial Times article that I read at the end of last month, that was December of 2021, notes that the top 8 U.S. media groups plan to spend at least $115 billion on new movies and television shows this year. The fact that Netflix, who is the industry leader, also has to invest heavily to churn out new shows and keep pace with competitors has caused some investors to ask whether the video streaming business is a good business at all. Netflix is set to spend more than $17 billion on content next year, up 25% from 2021 and 57% from 2020. And then there's second order effects that come from this. It's not just that they're spending more on content, it's that it's actually more costly to produce new content than it was when there was less competition. As investors who only want to buy pieces of businesses that we don't have to sell, that we can ideally hold on for decades and decades and decades, it's essential that we find businesses that have durable competitive advantages. Otherwise, you get situations like what Netflix is going through, and shareholders who own Netflix shares on Friday saw their shares and saw their money invested in Netflix go down 20%. Now, I'm not making any predictions about the future, but what I do feel confident in saying is I'd much rather own a piece of a business that wasn't going through what Netflix is going through right now. And the only way to do that is to buy businesses that have durable competitive advantages. And on that note, this has been Compound Money Quietly, the CMQ Investing Podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts and you've learned valuable information from these episodes, please take a second to leave a written review. That goes a very long way for helping more people discover the content. And I enjoy reading them. It means a lot. So I hope you'll take just a minute or two to write one for us. It really does go a long way. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our free newsletter, you can sign up at cmqinvesting.com. And if you'd like to support CMQ Investing, become a paid member, which you can also do at cmqinvesting.com. By being a paid member, not only are you supporting the content and helping us grow, you also get access to our private group chat where we talk about stocks pretty much every single day. Once again, this has been Compound Money Quietly, the CMQ Investing Podcast. My name is Chris Franco. Thank you for listening. We'll talk soon.